everyone. So this is the summary of the poem Felix Randal by Gerard Manley Hopkins. So these are the important points. This poem is a sonnet written in 1880 and published in 1918 after the poet's death. This poem is about the relationship between the speaker, who is a priest, and an ironsmith whose name is Felix Randal. So the speaker provides the spiritual guidance to the young man during his last days. The speaker laments upon the untimely death of this young man due to tuberculosis. This poem is actually based upon the real life death of a person, Felix Spencer, who died of tuberculosis at the age of 31. So this is the text of the poem. Felix Randal the farrier, oh, is he dead then? My duty all ended, who have washed his mould of man, big boned and hardy handsome, pining till time when reason rambled in it, and some fatal four disorders flashed there, all contented. Sickness broke him, impatient, he cursed at first, but mended, being anointed and all, though a heavenlier hurt began some months earlier, since I had our sweet reprieve and ransom tendered to him. Oh well, God rest him, all road ever he offended. So when the poem opens, the speaker hints at the death of a young man, Felix Randal, who was an ironsmith. These lines reflect the relationship between the priest and the young man. The priest provides comfort and solace to the dying man through his religious preachings. But the priest is also saddened and disappointed with the untimely death of this young man. He says that his priestly duties to this young man are over now as he is dead. And next he says, actually, the speaker feels upset to remember the pain and suffering of the young and handsome man during his final days. Felix Randal was totally overpowered by his illness, which brought a lot of trouble for him. The speaker says that his sickness had broken him completely. Next, the speaker says that initially the young man was angry and impatient about the idea of death and was not ready to accept the reality of his sick body. But the speaker makes him think beyond physical limitations through healing power of religion. Next, speaker also anointed him with the holy oil. So this brought peace and comfort to the dying man. Because of the speaker's preachings, Felix developed a religious perspective and turned to God. In the next lines, the speaker asks for God's forgiveness if Felix committed any sins in his life. This saying the sick endears them to us too it endears. My tongue had taught thee comfort, touch had quenched thy tears. Thy tears that touched my hurt, child, Felix, poor Felix Randal, how far from than forethought of all thy more boisterous years, when thou at the random grim forge, powerful amidst peers, didst battle for the great grey dray horse, his bright and battering sandal. So in these lines, speaker says that when we take care of sick people, then we start loving them more and more, and vice versa. Next, the speaker talks about a connection that developed between the speaker and Felix. The speaker's words provided comfort to Felix in his last days, and his touch calmed Felix's hurt. Although speaker himself got so moved by the tears of Felix Randal. Next, speaker says that Felix had never imagined that he would have to die in the prime years of his life. This was beyond his expectation. Felix really worked very hard in his father's shop and he was admired by all people who worked with him. He was the most skillful and strong person to make horse shoes. And here the poem ends.